Clan, and welcome to a Warrior's Thoughts. It's been a wee while since I did one of these, and the main reason is there hasn't been much that I've wanted to talk about. TV turn off. But, well, there has been, but I've been reluctant to do a lot of them just because I don't think I have enough to say on them. But the latest one that I think I can give my thoughts on, of course, is the news about the Star Wars Battlefront, basically Season Pass. If you haven't heard, apparently, now I think it's been confirmed at this point because it has been listed, but don't quote me on it if I'm wrong. Feel free to say so. That the Star Wars Battlefront Season Pass will be $50, which is roughly about £30. Now, of course, it'll probably be about £30-40 over here by the time it comes out. But this has caused a lot of people to come up in arms and actually talk about it. Some people saying it's fair, and some people saying it's not fair. When I thought this would be a good chance to at least give my opinion. I believe I've already talked about season passes in the past, but I haven't really done a full video on them. And this is going to be my thoughts on season passes. Now, season passes are nothing new. They've been around for a while in gaming. Normally, they're not too bad. It's only in recent years that I've noticed that the price of season passes is like buying a whole new game entirely. And Star Wars Battlefront's a great example. It's going to cost you about $40 or $50, which is roughly about £40-50. Roughly about £30 to £50, depending on the place you get it from in the UK. It's going to cost you about that, and then basically they're asking you to pay for another game, basically, in my opinion. That's basically you're paying for two games, and for an American I feel really bad because that's going to be about $120 if you want to buy everything. Now, here's the thing when it comes to season passes. I view season passes the same way I view Kickstarter or any sort of crowdfunding thing. It's a gamble. No matter what you do, season passes, Kickstarters, crowdfunding, donations, whatever it is, it's just you giving money because they're promising something. They're saying, we'll deliver something. But there is always a chance that you will not get that thing. Season passes are the exact same. I, in my life, believe I've only ever bought maybe one or two season passes. I have never purchased many season passes. And I think the only season pass I've ever bought have either been... Freaking hell, what were they? I think it was either a Mass Effect one or another one. I also don't remember. It was that long ago. And the main reason I don't buy season passes is because I don't think most of the time they're worth it. Just for me personally. Even with games I love, even with a game like Batman Arkham Knight, that announced a season pass before the game was even out. And in all honesty, the season pass stuff that I've seen, the DLCs that have came out, don't seem worth it to me. A lot of them are just kind of lackluster, if you ask me. Now, I haven't played them all, but my personal favourite is, of course, the Batgirl one. But most of the DLCs have been cosmetic or various add-ons, have not been that much. So it's Batman Arkham Knight. And in my opinion, I would feel kind of cheated if I paid for that season pass. Another game that I've basically pretty much guaranteed the moment I have enough cash I'm buying a season pass for is The Witcher 3. But that's because The Witcher earned its money for me. The Witcher, I felt, is one of the best games this year, and I felt I want to support CD Projekt Red because 1, they made an amazing game, The Witcher 3. 2, they gave us 12 free DLCs for nothing. And of course, I trust them. I trust CD Projekt Red that their season pass will be worth it. And that is something that you also have to take into consideration when it comes to any season passes. Do you trust the developer? Do you trust the publisher? That is the simple fact when it comes to any season pass. Watch their track record. That's all you have to do. Now, you can either be probably mindful of it. You could think of it, okay, well, but these developers, have they done season pass in the past? That's what you do. Now, when it comes to, I believe it's Activision that are making Star Trek Battlefront, I am not surprised that this season pass is expensive. I'm not, because it's don't get me wrong, I really do like Star Wars Battlefront. I played the beta, had an absolute blast playing it. But to me, it's not a game I could see myself paying for. I don't think I could pick it up and play it unless it was playing with friends, because there's no story mode. It's purely a multiplayer focused thing. There is some single player elements, but none of it really interests me. So I don't see myself picking this game up on day one, and I don't see myself buying the season pass, because the season pass will just be for maps, weapons, cosmetic DLC. That's pretty much what it's going to be. I don't know if they're going to do anything else with it. We don't know much about the season pass, and that's something I think developers need to try and be a bit more forefront with. If you're going to promise a season pass for any game, regardless of what platform it is, whether it be a shooter, an FPS, an RPG, an action-adventure game, an indie game, whatever it is, if you are going to launch your game with a season pass, you have to show the people that the season pass will be worth it. Most of the time when it comes to season passes, you're only going to save maybe at the best anywhere from one full price DLC from say 10 to 20, anywhere from 5 to 20 I'd say pound you'd save with any season pass depending on how they balance it. But most people won't buy season passes, they'll just buy the DLC when it comes out. But that's something I think developers need to do. CD Projekt Red are actually one of the few ones that I actually really like the way they handled the season pass. Was they gave you free DLC. Now, admittedly, most of that DLC was cosmetic. There was a couple of quests, a couple of tweaks, new things here or there, and then of course New Game Plus. But they also announced that we're going to make 2 expansions. That is what we're going to do. The first one has came out, which is Hearthstone, which unfortunately I haven't got around to buying because I don't have the money for it. And then the next one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's coming out later next year. They've announced that, yes, we're going to give you 2 expansions. They are being very forthcoming. That's what CD Projekt Red has done really well. They have announced it. They've said, this is what you'll get for your season pass if you buy it. But you can buy the games. You don't need to worry about buying the season pass if you don't want to. You can just buy the DLCs individually. It doesn't bother us. The season pass is just an option. And that's something I think developers also need to understand. It's purely an optional thing that people have to understand, that you do not have to buy the season pass. It's completely optional. If you don't want to spend $50 or £30 on a season pass, you don't have to. It's purely an optional thing. You could just buy the DLCs as they come out. You could wait to see if the DLCs are going to be worth it. That's all you have to see. But then again, it does come down to one thing the publisher and developer need to understand is they need to be transparent. There's nothing better than being transparent, in my opinion, when it comes to season passes. If you say you buy the season pass, you will save X amount of money, you will get a free DLC, this is how much all the DLCs, when we sell them individually, will come say, like, if this was me, if I had to sell a season pass for $50, and I was a publisher or a developer or the PR person basically, I would say, well, let's be honest with people. Let's say, right, we promise you that we're going to deliver 5 map packs. Let's say it's the Star Wars Battlefront. We're going to deliver you 5 map packs. Each map pack will be $15. So overall, you will save $5. But you will also get maybe the DLC a day early or something. Something along those lines. You have to sell it to them and also not feel like you're cheating someone. That's just something I have to be thinking about. And I know a lot of people don't like that when it comes to getting access to a DLC or something early. But that's something that they would have to do with a season pass to try and sell. And I'm only thinking from a marketing point of view. But that's just merely my thoughts and my opinion. I honestly do not buy season passes most of the time just because I don't think they're worth it. I'd rather just pay for the DLCs. That's just me. And it's just kind of interesting to see where all these people are coming from and saying that this robbery, it's highway robbery, I'm not getting the full game and all that. Do understand that it does cost the developers money to make these DLCs, whether it be a map pack or a new fighter for a fighting game or a story-based DLC. It costs money, and I don't blame a developer for charging for map packs. That's just the way it is in this world. I accept that. Now, me personally, I don't buy map packs. I don't play these type of games normally, so it doesn't really affect me that much, but I can understand how it affects someone. People want this Star Wars game to be successful so that it seems like Star Wars is a viable place to make games into, that it isn't just a flight of fancy, that Star Wars can be a successful game franchise. It has been a successful game franchise. We just need it just needs to sell well. People want a Battlefront, people want Jedi fights, they want RPGs in Star Wars franchise, but this is probably EA stepping their foot and saying, here it is, let's test the waters, and then we'll see what comes on with the other Star Wars stuff. So we want Star Wars Battlefront to be successful, but really, as I say, it comes down, this whole season pass thing has just caused a lot of shit with people, and I can understand that. But in the end, you have to understand it's optional. You don't have to buy the season pass. You can just buy the DLCs individually if you want. And as long as season passes remain optional and it isn't cutting anything out of the original game, I don't have a problem with it. That's my opinion. And I think that's where I'll wrap this video. I don't really have much else to add to that. It's just, that's all I've got to say on the matter. Is it's as long as it remains optional, I don't have a problem with it. So I think that's where I'll wrap things up there, and I'm going to ask you, what do you think of this season pass? Do you think it's highway robbery? But what do you think of it? Do you think the season pass is a good idea? And what's your overall thoughts on season passes? Have you bought season passes in the future? And what would make you buy a season pass? That's an important question. I think that's where I'll wrap things up there. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I am Scottish Warrior 92. I'll see you all next time. Ciao for now.